Hello, my name is Lasha, and today I will be teaching you TOEFL listening skills. And our topic for today is the listening question types. We will learn each type of question if we have enough time. If we don't have enough time, we will continue the same series with next week. Okay, and we will do some exercises together and we will try to solve the questions. So before we start actually discussing the listening question types, let me explain the structure of the listening exam. In the listening exam, there will be passages which consist of conversations and lectures, okay? So there will be two types of passages. There will be conversations and there will be lectures. There will be 2 or 3 conversations and there will be 3 or 4 lectures. Now, why I'm saying this is because sometimes during the exam, the examiners try some new tests and therefore you will have more listening passages. You will have totally maximum 7, let's say, but not all of them will be scored. Normally, you should have 5 passages in total, but sometimes, once a year maybe or twice a year, I don't know how often, the TOEFL test examiners, they try to test new listening passages, so they will give extra listening passage to some of the students and they will check these new passages. Are these new passages good or bad? Okay. As for number of questions, totally there will be 30 questions in normal situation. And for timing, the listening section time is 41 minutes, okay? So, totally there will be 30 questions. And as for the timing, you have 41 minutes. Now, if you see more than 30 questions, so if you are getting tested and if it is, if they are testing new listening conversation or lectures, then there will be more questions. Maybe there can be 36 questions, and they will also increase the time from 41 minutes to 57 minutes maximum. So if we calculate, you have about 1.5 minutes for each question, okay? Almost 1.5 minutes for each question. Okay, this is the overview of the listening exam for TOEFL test. Now let's talk about the question types. There are 6 different types of questions in TOEFL exam, and we will learn all of them one by one, okay? Let's start with question type 1. Question type 1 is about understanding the main idea of the listening passage. So it's about understanding the main idea of the listening passage, and there will be there will be only one, not 2. There will be one question like this for each passage of the listening. Guys, let me check real quick if we are live on Facebook as well, so I can see your comments on both YouTube and Facebook page. I see that everything is okay with YouTube. Let's check Facebook as well. Okay, good. Great. We are live on Facebook as well. Very, very good. So, the first type of question is about understanding the main idea of the passage. Now, how do we understand the main idea of the passage? There are two important things that you need to pay attention to. First important thing is the first sentence of the listening passage. It doesn't matter, conversation or the lecture, always pay attention to the first sentence. Answer to your first question is always in the first sentence of the listening. Questions in this type of question is usually something like, why does the student see the professor? Why does the student visit the librarian? Okay? Questions are like this. Now, every listening file in the conversations part will start something like this. Professor, I came here today to blah, 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 blah. So, your answer is after this, to, or in order to. These ones usually give reasons. Why does the person visit the librarian? In order to, etc. For example, I'm having these lessons with you to teach you TOEFL listening skills. So, the question is, why is Lasha teaching this lesson? Answer will be to teach TOEFL listening skills. Of course, there can be the direct copy of the listening, or there can be some changes. Maybe they will use the synonyms and you will not see exactly the same words that you heard in the listening file, okay? But the answer to the first question is always in the first sentence of the listening passage. Also, you need to pay attention to a different thing. You need to pay attention how long do they speak about each topic or point. Okay? For example, during the listening, they talk about 3 different things. They talked like 20 seconds about first thing, then they talked 3 minutes about the second thing, and they talked half minute about the third thing. So if the question is what is the main topic of the listening, you need to choose which one they discussed the longest, which one was the main, okay? So you need to pay attention to how long they speak about the point. Let me remind you that in TOEFL, most of the questions are multiple choice questions. Very, very rarely you might see some matching question, but there is no gap filling questions, okay? So all possible answers, A, B, C, D, maybe they talked about all of them in the listening, but you need to find which one was the main point, okay? That's why you need to pay attention to how long the speakers talked about each passage, each topic or each point in the listening, okay? Guys, do you understand what you need to do in question 1? Do you understand how you need to solve the question 1? Let's see your comments. Is everything clear, or do I need to explain something again? Thank you, Ece, Melih, and Ozge. Good. Then, if everything is clear, Now let's try something. I will play one listening file for you. We will listen to the whole conversation. Then I will ask you questions about it, okay? Before we start listening, please take a pen or pencil and a piece of paper, because you might need to take notes. If you want to take notes on your telephone or computer, it's also okay, but I'm sure you can take notes faster with handwriting rather than typing something. But it's totally up to you. During the original TOEFL exam, also you will be allowed to take notes, so no problem about it, you can take notes. If you are ready, we can start listening.
Harici cihaz modu.
Listening exercise 1. Passage 1. Page 152. Questions 1 and 2. Listen to a conversation between a professor and a student.
Professor,
Guys, is the volume okay? Can you clear everything? Can you hear everything clearly? Okay, great. Then let's listen.
Passage 1. Page 152. Questions 1 and 2. Listen to a conversation between a professor and a student.
Professor, I have a question about taking the Engineering 120 course that you'll be teaching. I already took this course once, but I didn't do very well in it, and I'd like to take it over again.
Why do you want to try it again?
Well, I understood about half of the material last time, and I think if I concentrate on the rest of the material, I can do much better next time.
It's possible to repeat a course to try for a higher grade, but are you sure that's the best choice? You won't get credit for the course the second time you take it.
I know, but I still have plenty of time to make up for that, and it's just that I don't want to take Engineering 121 without understanding this course.
Okay, that seems sensible, but you might consider another option. You could enroll in 121 instead of taking 120 over again, and just take fewer classes for the semester. That would give you more time to review everything and catch yourself up. And you wouldn't be doing all the work for 120 and not getting credit.
I've thought about all that, and I appreciate your advice. The thing is, I want to have the full semester to get a really solid handle on the basics, and I don't want to have to try to cram it in. I mean, try to brush up on all the stuff from 120 while I'm also trying to understand, more complicated stuff on top of it.
That seems like a legitimate concern. It would be a lot of work at the beginning of the course.
Plus, I would really prefer not to have the grade I got last time stay on my transcript. An A will look much better.
That's certainly true. So, do you know why you weren't able to keep up in the class last time?
Yeah. I took too many classes last time, and it all just ended up being too much. I just wasn't able to keep up on the problem sets, and when the exams rolled around, well, I didn't have enough time to study.
And you're sure that won't eventually happen again? By repeating classes, you're setting yourself up for having to take extra credit courses at some point so you can graduate on time.
Yeah, but now I have a better idea of how much I can handle. And I've really been making a point of finding out how much work there is for each of my classes before I register. I think I can prevent any more unpleasant surprises if I do that.
Okay. Well, you seem to have thought it through, so I'll support your decision. Remember that I have office hours and so do the teaching assistants. So if you're having any trouble, make sure you come and get help.
I will, for sure.
Okay, now there's a form we have to fill out that gives my permission and says you understand the not for credit issue.
I've got the form right here, and I've already filled out most of it. All I need is your signature at the bottom.
That's fine. You really do seem prepared. Give me the form and I'll sign it.
Okay, guys. So, did you understand the conversation? Did you understand the conversation, guys? If you understand the conversation, then I will show you the questions and we will be able to solve the questions. Guys, I'm sorry that today I'm not looking into the camera that much because I'm playing the files on different computers, so I need to check different computer at the same time. Here we go. And here we have the first question. Why does the student go to see the professor? Answer A, to ask the professor for a form to change classes. B, to ask the professor's advice about a course. C, to get the professor's permission to take a higher level course. Or D, to ask a question about some course material. Which one do you think is correct answer, guys? Did you pay attention to the first sentence? What did the student say in the first sentence? So we have all possible answers. Some students think A, some of them think B, and some think C. Okay, nobody says D. Okay, it is good. D is not our correct answer. Let's delete D. A, B, or C. We have all answers from the students. C says to get the professor's permission to take a higher level course. Guys, pay attention to higher level course. Did the guy say he wants to take the higher level course or take the same course again, maybe? Or lower level course? What did he say? Does he want to take higher level course? If you don't remember very well, I can play again the first sentence. Same course. Okay, good. You remember. So C is not our answer because not higher level course. I see comment from Isa. First sentence included the word question, so we can say that he is there to ask something. Yes, he is there to ask something. Absolutely correct. Possible answer A and B, both of them say to ask the professor. So, to ask the professor for a form to change classes or to ask the professor's advice about a course. If I pay attention to your comments, you said that guy wants to take the same course. So, it's not about change class. It's about taking same course. So it's not changing class. Therefore, our answer is B, and Isa is correct. He said that the boy already has the form with him. He does not need to take it from the professor. True. So our answer will be B. Okay, guys? Let me delete this one so you understand better. The correct answer here is B. Okay. Let's go to next question. We also have second question about the same conversation. What is the topic of the conversation? A, the reasons the student wants to repeat a course. B, the reasons the student did not do well in the professor's course. C, the reasons the professor does not want to change his grade. Or D, the requirements and expectations of a course. Which one do you think is correct answer here, guys? A, B, C, or D? I see that everyone thinks correct answer is A here. The reasons the student wants to repeat a course. Nobody has different opinion, yeah? Definitely, they are not discussing anything about grade, so C is not our answer. They are not talking mainly about the requirements and expectations of a course, so D is not our answer either. And we have A or B. The reasons the student wants to repeat a course or the reasons the student did not do well in the professor's course. They also talked about, I think, why he failed first time he took this class. So why not B? Maybe B is correct, guys? What do you think? Why B is not correct answer? Alijan says B is not main topic. This is true. And Serdar says A is more general. And yes, guys, you are totally correct. Correct answer here is A. I was just trying to understand your reasonings for it. All of you did good job. Nice. Let's try one more listening. I think we can do also this kind of listening. I will open a different conversation and we will do two questions again.
Number 1. Why does the student go to see the professor?
Sorry, guys.
Passage 2, page 152. Questions 3 and 4. Listen to a conversation between a university employee and a student.
I have a problem and I hope you can help.
Okay. What's your problem?
I haven't received my grade report from last quarter, and my friends all say they got theirs already.
They were all posted at the same time. So you say you haven't received yours yet?
No, I haven't.
Did you take all of your final exams?
I mean, it's possible that if you missed an exam, then your grade report would be held up.
No, I took all my exams.
Did you have any problem last time you got your grades?
Well, actually, I'm a freshman. This is the first set of grades I've gotten. Or not gotten, I guess. My email hasn't changed or anything, so...
Wait, are you talking about your personal email account?
Yeah, the school sends us our grades by email, right?
No, they just post them on the university web portal. You have to log on to your student account and click on the grade report link.
You're kidding! I thought they were sent to our email.
That's not how it's done. It's more secure and easier for the university to post them on their own server.
Okay, now I feel stupid. I probably did get my grades, I just didn't know it. Sorry for wasting your time.
Don't worry about it. Starting college can be pretty confusing. There are a lot of new procedures you have to get used to. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Actually, how much do you know about the university server? I'm not sure I remember my password. Will I have to see someone if I can't remember it and I need to enter a new one?
That's really not necessary. There's a forgot your password link. So you didn't use the server at all last quarter for your classes?
I only had to submit a couple of things through the university's computer system. I kind of avoided it, to tell you the truth. I'm not very good at dealing with complicated websites like the universities. And I was able to get assignments from the syllabus or ask about them in class, so I sort of got around using it very much.
Ah, I see. Well, in any case, you'll probably want to get comfortable using the university server. I think that for higher level classes, the professors tend to use it for posting assignments and discussions. They interact with students more often that way than they do in the lower level classes. In fact, I think a lot of them require you to participate in online discussions, or they announce changes in the course on class pages. You might miss something important if you avoid checking it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome.
Okay, so the listening file is over, and we will have 2 questions about this listening file, but before that I read Erdogan's comment and it is amazing. You explained it very well. Thank you. Let's see question 3. Why does the student go to the office? A. To learn about university policy. B. To solve a problem with a professor. C. To get help with the computer system. Or D. To find a missing report. Do you remember the first sentence of the girl, guys? What did she say? We have some possible answers already. Someone thinks it is C, but it is not C, guys, because it's not in the beginning of the conversation. The girl remembered about computer system almost the end of conversation. So it is not C. And other students think the answer is D. You are correct, guys. The correct answer is D. Good job, Alican, Erdoğan, Ozge, Rena, and Ece. Definitely, the answer is D. Why not A, to learn about the university policy? Again, it's not in the first sentence. Pay attention, guys, to the first sentence of the conversation. First sentence, she started, I want to ask you a question about a report. So, the girl went there to find a missing report. Now, let's see question number 4. What are the speakers mainly discussing? A. The ways that computer system works. B. The reasons grades were not posted on the school server. C. The date when grades will finally be sent out to the students. Or D. The reasons why the student missed an exam. Let's start here with possible answer D. The reasons why the student missed an exam. Did she miss any exam, guys? Did she say she missed any exams? No, she did not say anything about missing exams, so this part is not correct. Now let's see C, the date when the grades will finally be sent out to the students. Pay attention to will, so it's about the future. The grades will be sent out to the students. Will the grades be sent to the students in the future? Will the grades be sent out to the students in the future? Ece says no, and you are absolutely correct. Ece, there are two mistakes in this sentence. First of all, tense, it's not about the future, and also sent out. Grades will not be sent, and grades were not sent to the students' email addresses. Possible answer B. The reasons grades were not posted on the school server. Were they posted or they were not posted? I heard something different. I think this part were not posted is a mistake because the grades were posted on the server, just the girl did not know about it. So if this sentence was positive, yes, maybe we could discuss this as a possible answer, but negative, definitely not correct because it is giving us incorrect information. Therefore, our answer is definitely A. A lot of you had correct answer here. Good job again. Nice. Good. So this is about question type 1. I think it's very easy to understand question type 1, even if you don't take questions for this type of question, still you will be able to answer the questions. But this is true only for question 1. For other types of questions, definitely you need to take notes. For example, if we continue with question type number 2, question type 2 is about understanding the details. Here the questions will be very specific about something, some information. Therefore, you need to take very good notes. So this is my first advice. Take good notes. Now, when I'm saying take good notes, what does it mean? Good notes. When you are listening to a file, can you write the full sentences? Can you write everything? Of course, no. You can't write everything. So what do you need to write? When you are taking notes, what do you need to write? What do you need to note? Keywords. Yes, guys, you are correct, definitely. You need to write the keywords. One good thing about TOEFL is that nobody cares about the spelling. There will not be gap-filling questions. You will not need to write anything. So, even you don't need to care about the spelling of the word. You can just write short forms. You don't even need to write the full words. For example, if I want to write important details, I will write imp this. I understand that this one is important details for me because nobody else will see this paper, it's just my paper. Therefore, when I look at this will help me remember that this means important details. So, don't write the full sentences and don't even try to write full words. Sometimes you can write short words. And one more thing, always try to make some kind of scheme about your note taking. For example, you hear the person says, today we will talk about 3 different things. If you hear that the listening conversation will be about 3 different things, make a list. 1, 2, 3. I mean, you can make lists like this. The person says, today we will talk about 3 different things. Directly, it should come to your mind that there will be 3 things. So, number 1, 2, and 3. Now, when you are taking notes, you will just write 1, 2, and 3. Or, if you hear, this topic has positive and negative sides. Okay, I directly understand they will talk about positive and negative sides. And what I do, maybe I make something like a table and I will write like this, positive sides this side and negative sides this time. It will be easier for me. So when you are taking notes, always try to take your notes in some kind of organized way. Create some kind of table or schematic, maybe diagram, whatever is better for you. Also, if you don't want to write full words, for example, positive sides, I will never write positive sides when I'm taking notes. I will just use the plus sign, and for disadvantage or negative side, I will use the minus sign. Okay? This is my way. Or if they say next, I will never write the word next, but instead of that, I will use this thing. So when I look back to my notes, I understand it better. So use some kind of symbols and schemes, okay? It will save you a lot of time. But you need to practice these kind of things a lot of times before the exam. Like you should not think about which symbol you will use. When you hear positive, directly you know that you put plus. You don't have time to think about it during exam, during the listening of the exam, okay? What else do we need to do here? Questions are about details. So if, for example, you hear something about dates, it is important. If you hear something about places, it is also important. Take care, good notes of these things. Dates, places, some specific details, okay? With specific details, I mean like where, when, name of something. These kind of details will be very important. And one more thing. If they repeat something during the conversation, it means this is very important thing. So, of course, you need to take note about it because this will be definitely asked. If something is repeated, or changed during the conversation, it will be asked. For example, they are talking about the prices of house, let's say, and the agent says the price for this house is 2,000 liras per month. Wait a second, it has just changed and the owner is okay with 1,800. Okay, so if there is this kind of change, definitely take note for this because the question will be about the price of the house. It already gives you a link, okay, that this is something important and they will ask you this. Now, as for the questions, usually the questions are asked here in this kind of way. For example, what is mentioned about this in the conversation, or what is indicated in the passage about it, or there can be according to the speaker blah 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 blah, or what does the professor say about something. Okay, so we have these different kind of ways for the questions here. I said that question type 1, there will be only one question like this for your listening passage, but these kind of questions, there will be more than one. Maybe there will be 2 or even 3 for each conversation or each lecture, okay? Guys, do you have any questions regarding skill 2? Or do you understand everything? What you need to pay attention to, what kind of questions there will be, and what kind of notes you need to take? Do you understand everything? It's okay, good. Then I will play one listening file for you, and please be ready. Have your piece of paper with you and pen or pencil, because definitely you need to take notes here, okay? Let's start.
Listening exercise 2, passage 1, page 158. Questions 1 through 5. Listen to a conversation between an office worker and a student.
Hi, I need to get a parking permit.
Well, you've come to the right place. Let me ask you a few questions. First, are you a student?
Yes, I am.
And have you ever purchased a student parking sticker before?
No, I haven't. This is the first time.
Okay, and do you have your student ID with you?
Uh-huh, I do.
And how are you going to pay for it? With cash, check, credit, or debit card?
By check.
That's fine. All right. All you need to do is fill out this form and write your check. Give me the form and the check, and then show me your student ID.
Okay, but I have a question. You said that this is a sticker, right? It's not like a pass that you can take with you? Because sometimes my roommate wants to go home to visit her parents who live a half-day's drive from here, and she borrows my car because it gets better gas mileage than hers. So I end up having to use hers.
Oh, I see. So you want to know if you can use the same sticker for the other car when you have to use it?
Exactly, but if it's a sticker, then...
Well, it's not removable.
So then, is there any way I can get 2 stickers with the same number or get a second one discounted?
I'm sorry, there isn't any way to do that. Someone came in a few months ago with kind of the same problem, and I asked my supervisor if there was any procedure for dealing with it. Unfortunately, she said that the school doesn't have a good way to keep it from being abused. You know, people getting their friends cheap stickers and all that.
But it's not like that with me.
I totally understand, and I'm really sorry that we can't help you.
So, I guess I have to buy a second parking sticker for my roommate's car, even if I only use it a few times.
If you plan to use it a few times a semester, you should probably just park it in the visitor lot. You have to pay every time you use it, but it would still work out to be less than buying a second parking sticker.
Yeah, that might be the best option. Or my roommate can just drive her car on her trips and find a way to pay for all the gas it uses.
I suppose you'll have to figure out what's cheapest.
All right, so do I have to bring my car over here so you can put the sticker on it?
No, that's not necessary. I'll give you the sticker and you can put it on your car. Just be sure to put it in the right place.
Where do I need to put it?
On the front window of the car, on the right-hand side. No, sorry. It should be on the left-hand side.
Front window, left side. Okay, I've got it.
Now, do you know about the various parking areas on campus?
Well, I know about the visitors' parking lot now and how that's pay when you park. And I've noticed that the other parking areas on campus are marked with different colors. but I wasn't sure what they meant.
It's really easy. There are two different colors. The blue parking areas are for faculty and staff, and the yellow parking areas are for students.
So that means I can park in the yellow parking areas and not the blue ones.
That's exactly right. Now, let me get that sticker for you.
Okay guys, so the listening file is over. I hope you took very good notes about it. Actually, it is time now to have a break. We can have 15 minutes break. This will be very good for you. You can look back to your notes better, and 15 minutes later we will solve questions regarding this listening file. Okay? See you in 15 minutes.
Olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
A world full of joy and smile, a world where everyone only by satisfaction and learn to survive in the outside world, Justenglish style. Learn, play, sing and dance, do what you don't see anywhere else. Learn, play, sing and dance, do but do Justenglish style.
Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, macerayla tanış. Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, bu dünyaya karış. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
Knife.
Knife. Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Pronunciation.
Enthusiastic.
And enthusiasm. Enthusiastic.
Reci bilmiyorum.
Recipe.
Recipe. Recipe.
Bir daha.
Recipe.
Clark.
Clark.
Pronunciation.
Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. olduğun yerden hemen kalkman gerek. Adım at ki gerçekleşsin her dilek. Bekliyor seni parlak bir gelecek. Sen ona gittikçe o sana gelecek. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
A world full of joy and smile, a world where everyone only by satisfaction and learn to survive in the outside world. Justinglish style. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do what you don't see anywhere else. Learn, play, sing and dance. Do but do Justinglish style.
Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, macerayla tanış. Hayat devam ettikçe bitmez bu yarış. Sen de bir dil öğren, bu dünyaya karış. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel. Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
Knife.
Knife. Enthusiastic.
Enthusiastic.
Pronunciation.
Enthusiastic.
And enthusiasm. Etüstik.
Rigid bilmiyorum.
Recipe.
Recipe. Recipe.
Bir daha.
Recipe.
Clark.
Clark.
Pronunciation.
Justenglish'le şimdi sen de dile gel.
Hey guys, I'm back with you, and we will do the questions now. We will try to solve the questions together. Let's see the questions. Okay, let me open the file. So we have here the first question like this. What is the student situation? A. She wants to buy a parking sticker for her roommate. B. She needs to pay a parking ticket. C. She is trying to get her first parking sticker. Or D. She would like to get a discount on her first parking ticket. Which one do you think is correct here? A, B, C, or D? Let's see your answers. What do you think? A, B, C, or D? Hello, Yeşim. I think some students are still having coffee during the break time, or maybe tea, or the stream is coming a little bit late, maybe, because we have only one answer so far. She wants to buy a parking sticker for her roommate. A is not correct because she doesn't want to buy parking sticker for roommate. Okay, she wants for herself. So question number 1, possible answer A is not correct, not the roommate. B says she needs to pay a parking ticket. Parking ticket is different thing and parking sticker is different thing. Pay a parking ticket is when you get a fine. For example, you parked your car not correctly on the street. In this case, the police or the traffic warden gives you a parking ticket. So it's some kind of fine that you need to pay. So B is also not correct. C says she's trying to get her first parking sticker. Okay, it sounds good. And let's see D. She would like to get a discount on her first parking permit. She wants to get a discount, but not first. She wants to get discount on second one, okay? If she buys 2, she asks, can I get a discount if I buy second one also? Therefore, Alican, Ece, and Ozge, you were correct. The answer for this question is definitely C. Good, good, good. Let me delete these ones. So, answer to first question was C. Now, let's see another question. Question number 2 we have over here. Why does the man suggest using the visitor parking lot? A. It costs less than the student will spend on gas for her roommate's car. B. She does not have to pay if she only uses it when she visits campus. C. It will be cheaper than buying a second parking sticker. Or D. She can pay for the parking lot now. What do you think, guys? A, B, C, or D? Which one is correct for number 2? Can you please also write the number of the question and the possible answer? For example, 2A or 2C, okay? We already have possible answers from Alican and Isa and Ece. Everyone thinks C is correct answer. And I have to agree with you guys. You are correct. C is true for this question. Let's see next question, question number 3. Look, here you need to click on 2 answers. So you need 2 answers, but you will get only 1 point for these kind of questions. What does the man say about the parking sticker? A. It goes on the front window. B. It can be removed from the window. C. It must be put on the car by the man. D. It should be put on the left side on the window. So we need here 2 possible answers, not only 1, okay? I remember, but there was something about the sides. The man mentioned left and right, both of them, but then they changed, so be careful about that. We have answers from Ozge, Ece, Alican, Erdoğan, and Serdar. And Isa and Gugu. All of you are correct, guys. We need A and D here. B is not correct because it can't be removed from the window. C is not correct because it's a sticker. The girl can do it by herself. No need to bring the car. Good job. Let's see question number 4. What is stated about parking on campus? A. Students may purchase half-day parking permits. B. Campus parking areas are distinguished by color. C. The visitor lot is free for people with a parking sticker. D. Parking stickers are marked with different colors. Which one do you think? A, B, C, or D, guys, for this question? I see we have possible answers from Ozge, Ece, and Alican, and everybody thinks it is B. Isa also joined them, and Serdar. True, guys. Parking areas are distinguished with colors or by colors. It is correct. And last question for this conversation. Again, you need 2 answers. Who parks in which areas? A. Students use yellow parking areas. B. Faculty and staff use blue parking areas. C. Students may use the blue visitor lot. D. Faculty and staff use yellow parking areas. If you remember just one of them, directly you will understand the second correct answer as well. Because A and C are contradictory. If A is correct, C is not correct. And when you understand who uses yellow, you understand who uses blue as well. So you have either 2 correct answers here or 0 correct answer. You cannot have only 1 correct answer in this kind of question. So we have possible answers from Alican, A and B. Ozge, Ece, and Didem also agree with him. Serdar also gave A and B. And you are correct, guys. We need here A and B. Gülgün also said same answer, A and B. True. Yellow is for students and blue is for staff and faculty. Nice. Let's do one more listening file for this kind of question. Guys, let's listen to another listening. Let me open it for you and let me play the file.
Passage 3, page 161. Questions 11 through 16. Listen to part of a lecture in an education class.
Okay, all of you are enrolled in this introductory education course because you want to become teachers. And I think it's important for you as aspiring teachers to understand how education has developed over the centuries. So today, I'd like to address an issue that has come up again and again in our nation's history, and one that, in fact, was taken for granted through most of our history. That issue is character education. And that's not to say that there had not also been a focus on basic academic subjects, of course. But since the founding of this country, public education has been responsible for instilling the nation's youth with the values of our society. In the earliest New England schools, religious texts, specifically the Protestant Bible, were used to develop the moral character of the students. Now, this was acceptable at the time because the students were all of the same faith. Through the 19th century, this dimension of character development continued. However, with the great influx of immigrants in the late 19th and early 20th centuries from many societies and religious backgrounds, character education began to be formalized around the importance of societal values, such as discipline, hard work, fairness, kindness, and so on. Essentially, as the United States became more diverse, it became necessary to move away from any one religion's views and move toward an approach in which societal influences and universally held beliefs in good and evil became the moral focus of teaching. Now, educators then, even at the beginning of the 20th century, were expected to be virtuous. Leaders in the development of public education all agreed that teachers should be shining examples of moral correctness and goodness. It was thought that only people with upstanding character could impart the proper values to the children, and that's what teachers were supposed to do. Now, I'm going to tell you about some of the rules for teachers that were common in the early 20th century, and you'll get a clearer idea of what it meant to demonstrate upstanding moral character at that time. Now, the rules weren't just about how a teacher could conduct herself in the classroom and on the school grounds. There were also numerous rules that governed just about everything a teacher did. Teachers had to follow strict rules about their appearance. They were sometimes told not to wear colorful clothing, not to dye their hair or wear it loose, and not to wear their skirts above the ankle. Teachers' whereabouts during after-school hours were also strictly regulated. There were rules forbidding teachers to go to bars and to ice cream parlors. There were rules requiring teachers to be home after 8 o'clock in the evening. And there were some rules forbidding them to leave town without permission. So just about any action a teacher wanted to take could be regulated. Teachers could be forbidden to smoke or to drink. They were also sometimes forbidden to spend time with men or to marry if they wanted to remain teachers. However, after the middle of the 20th century, things began to change. The race to the moon triggered a shift from an equal focus on moral training in schools to a much greater emphasis on academics, especially science and math. Again, this doesn't mean there was no focus on basic academic subjects before. Schools had always taught reading, writing, and math, but there was a dual focus on character education. What I mean is the focus shifted more to the academic side. And this happened during a time of increasing diversity in the country. See, educators recognized that it was becoming difficult or impossible to agree on specific morals for the classroom. So schools backed away from trying to teach values to their students, leaving it instead to parents and students' religious communities. But now, anyone who has dealt with children knows that it's impossible to take the teaching of morality and values out of a place where children spend so much of their time. Respect for other people and authority, self-discipline, conflict resolution, and such things are obviously full of value judgments. And it'll be obvious to anyone who has dealt with children and teenagers that they need a lot of guidance on these questions. Okay, so as a result of this, beginning in the 1980s and 90s, character education came back into fashion. New initiatives have partnered the government with the school districts to develop and implement programs in conflict resolution, tolerance, and so on. So, this is the state of public education that you will face one day. I want you to consider this idea. I propose that teachers in the early 21st century are also held to a higher standard. Although there aren't explicit rules about teachers' behavior outside of class, they are being asked to help develop the character of their students. And this is being asked of teachers without there being any clear set of moral rules or expectations that all parents of school children agree on.
Okay, guys, so the listening file is over, and now we will go to questions. This is one of the most interesting listenings of the TOEFL that I have heard because it is directly related to teaching and how teachers should behave and whether teachers' life should be controlled outside the school. So we saw how many shifts there were in the United States in 19th and 20th century. Let's go to the questions, and here we go. Questions start over here. Let me make it bigger for you. Question number 11. Who is listening to the lecture? A. Experienced teachers. B. Students of American history. C. School administrators. Or D. Future teachers. I'm waiting for your answers, guys. I think it's quite easy question and probably everyone has correct answer. Let's check on Facebook as well if we have any comments on Facebook. On YouTube, I see Ozge, Ece, Alican, and Eminem think D is correct answer. And yes, guys, you are correct. Definitely, it started with as a future teachers. So D is true for question 11. Let's see question number 12. What does the professor say about American schools before the late 19th century? A. They did not concentrate very much on basic academic subjects. B. they had not yet begun to encounter religious diversity. C, they were not allowed to use Bible as their textbook. D, they did not question their responsibility for character education. Guys, when you answer the question, please don't forget the question number, because some people watch the video a little bit late, so maybe they are answering different question when they are writing comments, okay? So write like 12A or 12D, okay? Maybe all of them were mentioned, but we need to think about before the late 19th century. So here the period of time is also important. So far I see answer A, but A is incorrect because the professor says that not to say that, it means that there had not also been a focus on basic elementary subjects. So A is incorrect. I see possible answer D from 2 students. Answer D is incorrect, guys, because the professor says that in the earliest New England schools, the Protestant Bible was a standard text. Therefore, if it was the standard text, it does not mention about the role of the teachers. So not A, not D. B or C is correct answer, and they are actually contradictory. B says they had not yet begun to encounter religious diversity. C says they were not allowed to use Bible as their textbook. But I already told you that they used Bible, so they were not allowed to use Bible, not correct, but just the opposite. They used Bible because there was nothing about cultural diversity, because immigrants started migrating to the United States after this period, okay? So for question number 12, our correct answer is B. I think the problem here was the period of time, because some of the things were also mentioned, but about the different period. Let's go to question number 13. What is stated in the lecture about teachers in the early 20th century? Their behavior outside of class was unregulated. They were expected to be of high moral character. C. They were expected to avoid teaching morality to their students. D. They were expected to be married. Which one do you think for question number 13, guys? A, B, C, or D? Guys, please don't forget to write the number of the question, because answer to question number 12 was also B. Now I don't know when you are writing B, you are talking about 13th question or 12th question. Tuğçe, Mehmet, Ozge, Ece, and Emine, all of them think B is correct answer for this question. And you are correct, guys. 13, B is correct, because they said in the listening, the teachers should be shining examples of moral correctness, and shining example of moral, it means they should have high moral character. Let's go to question number 14. You need two answers in question number 14. According to the lecture, what changes in education... Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm reading different one. Number 14. What did the rules for teachers discussed in the lecture concern? A. How the teacher dressed. B. When the teacher was allowed to leave the classroom. C. Who the teacher could marry. And D. Where the teacher could go. Remember, you need to click on two answers. So for question 14, I need two answers. Actually, there is a very good movie about this topic, but I don't remember the name of the movie. Julia Roberts plays in that movie, and she is a teacher at one of the universities in a small town. I don't remember the name, but you can search with Julia Roberts and you can find it. It's very, very interesting. What kind of things the university asks her to do. We have possible answers A, B, C, D. We already have all possible answers given by students. How the teacher dressed. This was definitely discussed. So A is correct. When the teacher was allowed to leave the classroom, it was not mentioned, guys, about the leaving classroom time. Who the teacher could marry. There was something about the marriage, but the text said whether teacher could marry. So maybe the teacher could have needed to stay single, not marry. But the question was not about who could the teacher marry? Whether the teacher could go? Yes, they talked about some ice cream shop and parlor, they said. So correct answers here are A and D. Mehmet, do you mean about B? Why B is not correct? Probably you mean about answer B. B is incorrect because they did not mention rules about when the teacher was allowed to leave the classroom. They did not say this. If you listen later, you can understand. Oh, really? That's the name of the movie? I don't know. Mona Lisa Smile. Maybe. Question number 15. According to the lecture, what changes in education occurred in the second half of the 20th century? A. Math and science received greater emphasis than before. B. Teachers were required to have higher moral standards than before. C. Educators recognized the diversity of values in American society. D. Churches and families expected schools to take responsibility for character education. Again, you need two answers. I checked and yes, the movie's name is Mona Lisa Smile, 2003 movie. We have only one possible answer. Okay, we have second student also. Didem says A and C. Tuğçe says A and B. Emine says B and C. One of you is correct, guys. Correct answers for question 15 are A and C. Higher moral standards than before, not correct. It is the opposite. Churches and families expected schools to take responsibility for character education, not in the second half of 20th century, okay? And we have last question for this listening. What does the professor suggest parents will expect from teachers in the 21st century? To adhere to clear rules of behavior in and out of class. B. To confront a great diversity of values and beliefs. C. To instruct school children in the values of the dominant culture. D. To help develop the moral character of their students. I think it's very easy to answer. We all live in the 21st century and we understand what the parents' attitudes are in the 21st century. Let's see your ideas for question number 16. What the correct answers are: A, B, C, or D. You need 2 answers for this question. We don't have any possible answer yet. Maybe you missed this, but if we think about it, even without listening, you should not do this. You should always listen and paste your answers on the listening file. But even without listening, we understand one thing, that in the 21st century we have greater diversity. So B is definitely correct answer here. And also, in the listening, they said that in the last part of 20th century, they focus on math and these kind of things more. But in the beginning of 21st century, again, parents expect more teachers to teach moral character to students. So B and D are correct answers here. A is incorrect, guys, because the guy said there are no clear rules. They expect us to have some rules, but there are no clear rules. That's why A is incorrect. Okay, B and D. So we finished question type number 2, and we need to move to next one, question type number 3. Question type number 3 is about understanding the function. For these questions, for type 3 questions, they repeat part of the conversation and ask you, why does the person say this? Why does the person say this sentence? So your task is not only to understand what is said, but you should understand why it is said. So you need to pay attention to the words, but also you need to pay attention to the function of it. For example, when I use word for example, when I use this phrase, why do I use it? To give example, okay? So questions are something like this. They are usually asked, why does the person say this? Why does the professor say this? Or what does the professor mean when he says this? Okay? So pay attention to what is said and why it is said. This is only advice I can give you for this one. Questions are usually not difficult for this type. We can listen to one conversation now, full conversation or lecture. Then we will listen to repeated parts. They will repeat for each question for this section. They will repeat part of conversation, okay? First, let's listen to the full conversation. Then we will listen to part.
Listening exercise 3. Passage 1. Page 170. Questions 1 through 4. Listen to a conversation between a librarian and a student.
Excuse me, I have to do some research and I need some help getting started.
You've come to the right place. What do you need?
I want to find out what makes, or how women executives manage to balance their lives. I mean, what keeps them happy with all of the conflicting demands in their lives.
Okay, why don't you have a seat and I'll show you how to get started. At the risk of sounding obvious, have you read the professor's research assignment carefully?
I'm sorry?
It's just that sometimes students come in without a clear understanding of what it is the professor wants them to research. In that case, they often end up barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I'm pretty clear that it's an assignment for freshman comp, so we get to pick our own topic. We just have to get approval.
Has your topic already been approved?
No, actually. That's why I'm here. I know that it's a little broad right now. You know, how do women executives keep it together? So I want to narrow it down a little so my professor will approve it.
What kind of resources are you supposed to use? Popular magazines, books?
We're supposed to use some scientific journals and studies, but we're allowed to use a few popular sources for quotes and things.
Okay, then you could start in a couple of places. And, well, let's just start at the home page. Now, you can browse all the periodicals using the database from A to Z, or you can limit yourself to scientific journals if you click on the Research tab.
You know, I think maybe some popular magazine articles might be a good place to start, just to get some ideas, and maybe start with less dense text.
That seems like a reasonable idea to me. So, we'll just click the General Interest tab instead of the Research tab. Now, let's start with a search for keywords.
Maybe women executives? Work-family balance?
Okay, we'll try that. Now, these are the results, and you can click on each entry. And if it's not labeled as check availability, you can view and print from this computer.
So, if it is labeled with check availability, does that mean I can't view it?
Not necessarily. Some of them are actually available sometimes. Let's try this one. See? This article comes up. It's all hit or miss.
Okay, so I can search by keyword.
Yes, or you can search by subject and periodical title. And then there's the Research tab, which will filter the types of resources that are coming up. You know, more academic articles.
Wow, there seem to be a lot of options. My head is starting to spin a little.
I often get that reaction. I was just going to suggest that you just relax and sit down at one of the terminals and explore a little. You know, try different keyword searches and tabs. If you get stuck or want more ideas, any of us here at the desk can help you.
All right, I'll try that. Thanks.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, the library computers are for research purposes only, so...
No problem. If I have to check my mail or watch a video, I'll log off and use my smartphone.
So guys, this was the full listening conversation. Now we will listen to the repeated parts, and at the same time I will show you the questions, okay?
Number 1. Listen again to part of the conversation. Then answer the question.
Okay, why don't you have a seat and I'll show you how to get started. At the risk of sounding obvious, have you read the professor's research assignment carefully?
Why does the librarian say this?
At the risk of sounding obvious, have you read the professor's research assignment carefully?
So why did the librarian say this sentence? A, to indicate that the student has neglected something very basic. B, to avoid offending the student while asking about something simple. C, to imply that student is wasting time on something very obvious. Or D, to apologize for asking the student to repeat an explanation. You can pay attention to verbs to understand the answer, and also some nouns. For example, to repeat an explanation, there was nothing about the explanation, so I'm helping you. D is not correct answer here. So we said that D is not correct. Did you understand actually the phrase, guys? The person said, at the risk of sounding obvious, have you read the research professor's assignment carefully? So at the risk of sounding obvious, it means the person does not want to offend another person. At the risk of sounding obvious. So I know that the answer is obvious, but anyways I'm asking you. For example, I'm asking, let's say, Isa. At the risk of sounding obvious, what is your name? Of course, I know that Isa's name is Isa, and again, I'm asking this, so not to be offensive, I use this phrase, at the risk of sounding obvious. I know the answer is obvious to this question, okay? So answer here is B. We had some correct answers. Let's go to second question, and at the same time, sorry guys, at the same time continue playing the file.
Carefully?
I'm sorry?
It's just that some professors' research assignment carefully.
I'm sorry?
It's just that sometimes students come in without a clear understanding of what it is the professor wants them to research. In that case, they often end up barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I'm pretty clear that it's an assignment for freshman comp, so we get to pick our own topic. We just have to get approval.
Has your topic already been approved?
No, actually.
Guys, I'm sorry, something happened to computer and it is playing different file.
Number 1.
My mistake.
Listen again to part of the conversation. Then, Number 2. Listen again to part of the conversation. Then answer the question.
It's just that sometimes students come in without a clear understanding of what it is the professor wants them to research. In that case, they often end up barking up the wrong tree.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But I'm pretty clear that it's an assignment for freshman comp, so we get to pick our own topic. We just have to get approval.
What does the librarian mean when he says this?
In that case, they often end up barking up the wrong tree.
A. Students may get angry when they do not understand their assignment. B. Students may not understand how their librarians help them. C. Students often ask librarians to explain assignments when the professors are not clear. Or D. Students often start researching without thoroughly reading and understanding the assignment. We have correct answer from Serdar, Ozge, Ece, Eli, and Jada. Correct. D is true for this question. Let's go to third question.
Number 3. Listen again to part of the conversation. Then answer the question.
And then there's the Research tab, which will filter the types of resources that are coming up. You know, more academic articles.
Wow, there seem to be a lot of options. My head is starting to spin a little.
I often get that reaction. I was just going to suggest that you just relax and sit down at one of the terminals and explore a little.
Why does the student say this?
My head is starting to spin a little.
I think it's very easy one. My head is starting to spin a little. A, to indicate she is starting to feel sick. B, to express her excitement about the research. C, to suggest to the librarian that the computer is not working properly. Or D, to imply she is getting confused. I think this one is almost very similar phrase in Turkish as well. My head is starting to spin a little. We have already correct answer. Isa, Eli, Emine, Ece, and Ozge think D, and you are correct, guys. Head is spinning is being confused. Fatih and Serdar are also correct. Good job, guys. Let's do question number 4.
Number 4. Listen again to part of the conversation, then answer the question.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, the library computers are for research purposes only, so...
No problem. If I have to check my mail or watch a video, I'll log off and use my smartphone.
What does the librarian mean when he says this?
Oh, by the way, the library computers are for research purposes only, so...
Yeah, I think it's easy again. A, only professors can use the library computers for research. B, the computers should not be used for personal concerns. C, the computers do not have video capabilities. Or D, the students will only be able to do her research at the library. Library computers are for research purposes only. The librarian said like this. And we have correct answer from everyone. Eli, Ozge, Emine, Fatih, and Jada think it is B. And you are correct, guys. The answer here is B. Very good. So I think this one is very easy, and you understand how to do the question type number 3. Let's review a little what we have done today. So today we learned TOEFL listening skills, and we covered 3 types of questions: understanding the main idea, understanding the details, and understanding the function. Next week we will cover question types number 4, 5, and 6. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for watching the lesson and being so active. It was quite successful lesson, I think, and I wish you to stay healthy and stay safe. Please subscribe to our channel and like our videos and comment on our videos on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter accounts. I hope to see you soon again. Have a good evening and night. Bye bye.